Dynamite Town.
Welcome everybody to AEW Dynamite Download, your home for all positive coverage on all elite wrestling. You got your co-hosts Crayfish and my guy SPD over there in the NYC, and we are joined by Miss Madi Wrenkowski, someone who has taken the world by storm, coming fresh off the heels of her AEW Women's Tournament presence and matchup with Britt Baker. Has a lot of people buzzing. So Madi, we know you're busy. We know you're grinding. We know that you got a lot of stuff going on. Thank you so much for joining us. How you doing?
I'm good. A lot warmer than you all
are. No doubt. You're rocking the t-shirt and I'm wearing a hooded sweatshirt for a reason. So no, we just wanted to, Madi, one of the things that before we get into your story with AEW, everybody starts somewhere, and I know from following you a little bit on social and stuff like that, you grew up a wrestling fan. You got some brothers who definitely influenced you a little bit. Why don't you tell us, you come off as such an industry veteran, even though you're young. Where did this start? How long ago when did you start becoming a wrestling fan?
Yeah, so I can't pinpoint an age exactly. I just know that from some of my earlier memories, my brother was a huge fan. And so I just remember watching with him. We would always look out for Team Extreme and then out of the women's Lita. So it was always Team Extreme and Lita for me.
Nice.
I just remember, and I think what captured my attention most in wrestling is that these people were people sometimes you could relate to, like Lita was, she wasn't the ordinary girl that you saw there. And so I immediately was drawn to her. And I just remember the feud between her and Lita. My brother was, Trish and Lita.
Yep.
And my brother was a huge Trish Stratus fan. And I was so captivated by it. And I think that's what drew me into wrestling, was that it made me feel emotions. Me and him were literally getting in arguments over a wrestling match, and my mom didn't appreciate it much because I don't remember which match exactly it was, but I remember clearly Lita had lost and I was not having it.
Devastated.
Yeah, I was pissed. Anything in that game room was free game. I was mad.
Yep.
Yeah, we definitely would watch. We would always play the video games as well. That's basically that, and James Bond maybe were the only video games that we had. So it's when people would come over, they'd be like, "Oh, let's play a game." Okay, do you want to play WWE SmackDown versus? Do you want to play? Or if you want to look at our Nintendo 64, we got WWE No Mercy.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's one of the things we love about wrestling too, is it makes you feel something, right? It connects you. But so you transitioned from being a childhood fan, kind of playing video games with your brother and arguing over Lita and Trish and all that great stuff. And then you had a moment where you took it to another level. You decided that you were going to make this your living. What was that like? How did you decide, all right, I'm going to start living out this dream?
Yeah. So I actually like to say that it was fate that kind of brought me here. So I went to school and I got myself a degree. But while I was going through school, it was always a joke that my mom loved. When around finals and midterms, it got really hard because it's okay, when did we learn all of this? But apparently we did. And so I would get super stressed, and I was you know what? This is it. I'm just going to quit and I'm going to become a professional wrestler. That's it. And my mom was no, get your degree first and then go ruin your life. And I was bet. So that's what I did. I graduated.
Wow.
I was well, maybe I should try and use this degree that I just paid a crap ton of money for, or the government, I guess, paid for, and then now I'm gonna have to pay it back. But that's another story for another time.
Next time we talk.
Student loans.
Yeah, student loans.
Come on, Biden, let's go. But so yeah, I went and I found a job, and I was actually supposed to go out. But about 2 weeks before I was supposed to go, the volcano in Hawaii erupted. I was supposed to work at Hawaii Volcano National Park. It erupted. So I was like, well, basically I could either wait or get relocated. And I was like, this is fate. And so at that point, I was like, okay, I tried.
Yeah, Mom, I tried.
Exactly, I tried. So now it's time to look for wrestling school.
Mm-hmm.
So before I just like dove head first, I went to Booker T's fantasy camp down in Houston.
Wow.
And that is actually where I met Gino Medina. He signed under MLW right now. And he actually introduced me to Chris Marvel, which is the hybrid school of wrestling coach, at one of the shows that they had that was like 5 minutes from my house. And I had no idea that the wrestling world was like right outside my door like that until like he's like, oh, hey, you want to come to a show? And I was like, where? And he's like, oh, it's here. And I was like, okay, that's literally like 8 minutes from me. Why not? So I went. Chris Marvel was like, hey, come to the school tomorrow then.
Wow.
And then I showed up, and he was like, whoa, you showed up. People usually don't come.
Yeah.
Like after they say they're going to. And I was like, no, dude, I'm serious. And so we kind of like vibed, and like I felt like he was on my same sarcasm level, and he could hear the stuff that I was saying. And so at that point I was like, okay, hybrid is where I'm going to start. Like, this is it.
Nice.
That's fantastic. That's a really interesting story. And I have to say too, it's pretty amazing. We've heard, that fate, kind of that calling, that tempting, that's always there. It's pretty incredible to hear that, like your story, and hearing all about this, Madi, it's obvious that you pay a lot of attention to the people, talking about fate, the people that have been brought into your life, and the different influences that you've had. You are obviously influenced quite a bit by other personalities that you've come along with, but you stand out on your own. You have such a dynamic personality. It pops. You feel so natural. And that Misreality gimmick that you've sort of fostered for yourself, it feels very veteran. It feels very like you're living it, you breathe it. Can you tell us a little bit about what inspired that?
Yeah, so Misreality, like, it is me. Like, when I was growing up, aside from wrestling, I love reality television. I love Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but one of my like guilty pleasure like watches was always the Bad Girls Club. I love the Bad Girls Club. I have no idea why, and I also don't really know why my parents like let me watch it. But like all 7 seasons, I was tuning in, like, back in the day when you actually had to watch shows, you couldn't record them.
Yep.
I was tuning in to see who's gonna get their ass kicked. I was like, yeah. And I just remember like sitting there, and like these girls, like they did not care at all what they said, to whom they said it to, because like they believed in themselves and they were that confident. They're like, okay, like you're gonna talk some, then you better back it up. And I was like, yes.
That's you.
And so I think that's kind of what I don't know, I guess that's kind of just who I was. I also grew up, my family, my dad would always have that mindset, like, oh, if someone hits you, you hit them back harder type thing. So I think that, and then growing up as the youngest of 3, or technically 4, including myself, it also helped give me a tough skin and a very sharp tongue. Because I wasn't the biggest, but I was definitely going to say something that was going to hurt your feelings, and that's just what I did.
That's great. I mean, it's all about living and breathing your gimmick, and a lot of people's characters are definitely just another extension to themselves, and so you're definitely living up to that for sure. Now recently we've seen you share candid images working with Eddie Kingston, and AEW recently called you the protege to Thunder Rosa. You've shared the ring with Jazz as well. What's it like been to work with such industry veterans?
It's honestly been like surreal. So when I
bet.
was at Hybrid, again, they are an amazing facility, and they actually are the ones who brought in Eddie Kingston.
Oh,
At that point, I think I was maybe a week or two into the ring.
Wow.
And this dude was like, do this, do that. I was like, I don't know how to do that. Not coordinated like that yet. And at that point, we actually had Jesus Rodriguez at Hybrid. And he was like, just do it. Just do it. Like, what's going to happen? Like, what's the worst that can happen? And I was like, okay. And so, like, I tried to, like, do that, like, jump through the ropes roll. I almost died. But I tried it. And that's... But no, so I had that. And then later, Hybrid got into a larger facility, the one they're in now. And they were able to bring in Jazz, Rodney Mack, and Funaki.
Oh.
And having had Chris Marvel's very technical background, I learned a lot of stuff. However, I feel like Jazz and Rodney kind of like helped me punctuate it. Like, obviously, I was terrified, like, going into this business and standing across the ring from someone who could probably kick my butt in like 2 seconds. But they kind of had me like grapple and stuff. Like, we would get in the ring with them and they'd be like, tap them out. And I was like, okay. And so I feel like they kind of gave me that confidence to know that and like be secure in what I'm doing. And like, if anyone tries anything, like, they kind of gave me the skills to like be able to put people in their place. And then Funaki is just an amazing person. Like, if anyone could ever meet him, or if you ever have the chance to, he's amazing. He's helped me out a lot. He is also very technical. And again, he's just amazing. Like, sometimes he says some things and you're just like, what?
The man's traveled the world. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
His personality though is just so like larger than life. And he is a diehard Packers fan, and you can tell because he's always wearing Packers shoes.
That's amazing.
That's an interesting.
I would have never
fun
guessed
fact,
that.
Right? He's diehard. It is amazing. I love to. The guys at Hybrid would always like try and rile him up, and he would just shut them down.
He's in cowboy country, right?
Huh?
He's in Cowboys country, right? So
yeah.
Packers and Cowboys, they're not necessarily, exactly.
Yeah, so he's very entertaining, but also very wise. He definitely has put me on a new style of wrestling. He introduced Japanese style wrestling to me, and he's actually the one who recommended that I start studying Meiko Satomura, and it is a whole new world over there. So that, and now I train at the Dog Pound Dojo with Thunder Rosa and Jazz and Rodney and Brian, and it's incredible. Thunder Rosa has us doing crap that I've never done in my life. She's like, I'm trying to make y'all worldly. Like, I'm trying to help you all and give you all some of the experiences that I had. I was like, cool. You could have told me that before, like, I ate a full-fledged like lunch. Like, hey guys, by the way, you're going to die today, and I'm gonna make you do squats on the top turnbuckle. Just an FYI. Like, we're doing Japanese style warm-ups. Wow. Like, you could have told me.
Jeez.
Wow.
That's
It was fun. I survived.
That's great. You've been surrounded by some really great influences and industry veterans. And, we got the honor to talk to Thunder, and we can just tell how passionate she is about her work at professional wrestling and pushing others. What we really loved about her is she loves to help others, and she's very selfless and wants the best out of everyone. What's been your experience like so far with Mission Pro Wrestling and some of the lessons you learned there so far?
Yeah. So Mission, before it became an all women's company, they actually ran in October, I want to say, of 2019. And they were actually my first ever independent show.
Wow.
I don't know if Thunder Rosa hated me at that point, because she put me against Jazz in a student versus trainer match. So
that had to be
trial by
physical.
fire for sure.
Yeah. I was like, oh, cool. I'm gonna die. And at that point, again, still early in my career, Rodney and Jazz were like teaching us the importance of film study. like studying the wrestlers of the past, not necessarily the ones now, but basically the basics and stuff on how these wrestlers would like do it and how they held themselves and whatnot. And so I was like, okay, well, let me be a good pupil in the student versus trainer match, and let me go watch Jazz's matches on YouTube. So I watched her WWE ones, and then I made the mistake of watching her independent scene ones. And in every single match, at the beginning of the match, the people would just chant, "Jazz is gonna kill." I was like, yo, if they do that, I might cry.
Oh,
and
gosh.
Like, because what else am I supposed to do? Like, no, she's not. I'm like, yes, she is. So sure enough, that's what they did. And I was like,
oh no.
Yeah.
She put a hurting on you?
Yes, she did. All of the above. Jazz was going to kill me, and she did a little bit. But she still left me a little bit of life. That's why I'm still going.
Yep. And whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
That's
and
right.
You're clearly, it's so cool hearing you talk, Maddie. I mean, you're young, but you have the right mindset where it's obvious that those things that your mentors have talked to you about, as far as respecting the industry veterans, respecting the game. Those are the types of characteristics that I think help make a career last long, help make somebody constantly grow and get better. So you have that at your core. And I think that's going to serve you really, really well. That said, we hear love that relationship that you've had with Thunder. We know that dynamic that you have with her and Mission Pro has helped you kind of get your foot in the door at AEW. And certainly that was a focal point of your recent match with Britt Baker. Commentators put it over, but my goodness, we had a feeling it was going to be personal. Following both your careers, I kind of knew you're both kind of alpha females. You both have that confidence to you and that swagger to you. There was going to be plenty of trash talk. It felt very personal in that one. Leaving that match, knowing that you went up against another woman who has got that same mentality that you have, what's something that you learned from that matchup? Because you clearly approach this as a student of the game. What's something you take away from that?
So while I do agree that we are both very alpha female, I mean, I feel like if you have to involve someone else, like if you have to take your beef out with a whole nother person on someone else, but then take your own friend or makeup artist or whatever the heck she is and have her help you, like clearly you're scared. Like, you're of what? Like, you're saying that I'm nothing and like Thunder Rosa's nothing and I'm her protege and you're going to kick my butt and whatnot. But you didn't even do it fairly. Like, you were obviously scared from the get-go. And that's why you attacked me from the back. But like, who saw?
Yeah, I think we could see a tag match, you and Thunder versus Reba and Britt. That'd be pretty.
Ooh.
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, no, I just watched the Joker recently with Joaquin Phoenix, and so I think I have a good idea of how I want to do her makeup afterwards.
Rearrange her face a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe we can go like Heath Ledger Joker, like White and Serious. I don't know.
All right.
I love it. And I love your response. Honestly, you're right. I mean, there was a lot of trash talk, and we saw Britt kind of has done the same thing throughout her career here recently. And those tactics, they came back to bite her a little bit in this last match that she had with Nyla. So it's only so far that you can push those things if you can't stand on your own, right? So you are definitely getting tested, and you're proven to the world that you're want to stand on your own 2 feet. And that, I think all of us can respect and admire. You did get your hands on Britt. You've had some impressive matchups on Dark. And clearly I feel like you're somebody that AEW recognizes has some star power. I've talked about it before. I see a lot of young Sasha Banks in you. I think that you have a super high ceiling and a lot of talent. knowing that your future with AEW is continuing to grow, who are some other opponents that you think might push you, you might be able to learn from and might be able to grow on, right? Because SPD and I, we talk about it all the time here on Dynamite Download. Iron sharpens iron. You only
Yes.
get better when you test yourself against the best. Who are some people that you are just clamoring to get in the ring with?
In AEW or just in general?
Why not twofold? Tell us AEW, because we love ourselves some All Elite Wrestling, and then if there's anybody outside of that you'd be interested in.
Yeah, for sure. I think I would love to test myself against Nyla Rose. I think that she is a powerhouse, to say the least. And I mean, I kind of got some.
Yep. You're working
but I
on
definitely think that I have to go back to my drawing board and I'll have to re-strategize for it. And I think that is
Smart.
one of the things that a lot of wrestlers, and I hate saying that, don't always have. Like I like to say, from my first school, I literally am a hybrid. And so you're going to throw different obstacles at me and I'm going to show you a different side of my wrestling capabilities. And that's just how it is. No one goes into a fight the same way with different opponents. And I think that's something that a lot of people in wrestling do not like acknowledge. You can't go in with the same mindset. You can't go in with the same move set. Like you can't go in thinking you're going to cross-body Nyla Rose and it's just going to go effectively from the get.
You'll bounce right off, right?
She's strong. She's going to catch me. Like I got to break her down before I attack from above. So whether that means going for her legs, just tripping her up basically is how I think I would have to approach that. As far as outside, of course, at some point I would love to go against Thunder Rosa, maybe a student versus trainer part 2. I think that would be incredibly fun. She may embarrass me, but it's fine. But then the one person that I think I would just love to get my butt kicked by is Rhea Ripley. I think that would be incredible to learn from. She's also a powerhouse, but she's also very technical and very, very well-rounded in the ring.
You have some great taste.
Yeah, those are some outstanding
I like to get my butt kicked.
Hey, you get knocked down so many times, you're gonna eventually prevail, and it's
eventually.
Yes. Hey. And so you got to take those losses, take those punches on the chin, and you're gonna learn a lot more that way, for sure. The AEW women's division has been growing rapidly the past 6 to 8 months. We are a huge fan of it at Team Dynamite Download, especially this tournament is getting a lot more eyes. We were pushing for a main event, the first women's main event, really hard at Beach Break for Thunder and Britt Baker. We thought they deserved a main event spot, and they still do deserve a main event spot down the line, because I don't think this is far from over. But
I hope not.
Right. We want to see that. It's
not
tag
over
match.
yet. Maddie
and Thunder versus Britt and Reba. Want to see that tag match for sure.
We're going to push that.
The AEW women's division, what important quality do you bring to the AEW women's division that might be missing, or that you would really stand out from the rest?
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I feel like me and myself, I kind of bring that, I like to say, the quality of realness. I'm real. And so, I don't know. I feel like people have this misconception about wrestling. Like, yes, I'm so supportive of women getting the spotlight and whatnot. And I love that Thunder Rosa supports me, and Vert Vixen and Jasmine Allure. And like, these girls are my traveling buddies right now. But at the same time, like, I want that spot. So I think I'm real about it. And I don't think a lot of girls are. Everyone wants to be best friends, like the little you see in the entrance. But like, we're all fighting for that one spot. Everyone wants to kick Britt Baker off that face of the division. Like, everyone wants to be at the top. So why be fake about it?
Why pull punches? Yeah. Why not? Why not? Like, there's something admirable about being real, being authentic. And you pride yourself on being Misreality for a reason. I think that's a great answer.
Yeah. And I made a tweet a while ago. I think the people who have influenced the reality, aside from the Kardashians, again, is Eddie Kingston and Enzo Amore. I think both of them have a very genuine personality.
Yeah.
And when they speak, they're saying things that they mean, like, and they draw you in. Like, you are so drawn in, I feel like, because they mean what they say. Like, as stupid and ridiculous as the things Enzo Amore says, like, he kind of means it.
Absolutely.
And so I think that's kind of like what I admired most. Like, he literally sat out there at 205 Live and berated every single
division.
member of that roster, knowing full well what the consequences would be or could be. And that's like you got to do that. Like,
yep.
Right.
I love that.
Gotta do that.
No,
and
you're right. Like,
yeah.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
If you put your foot in your mouth and you get yours, then that's fine too. Like,
yeah.
But
And Eddie is a great example, right? I mean, like, you brought him up. He's had some notable losses on AEW, but it doesn't hurt because he's so authentic. He's so real. And I think that's a great point by you, is when we as fans, and you speak as a pro, but there is still that love and fandom in you. I can tell you speak with like that admiration of, the people who are authentic and real. And that comes across as fans on TV. That's transitioning into, TV out, that type of portion of it. Maddie, I feel like reality TV is basically professional wrestling is basically reality TV with fighting, right? Let's be real.
It's the Bad Girls Club.
Yeah, it is, no doubt, right? My wife and I, like, I used to tease her about her love for reality TV, but like, we've bonded over Below Deck. That's our jam. We love that. But knowing that the reality TV wrestling is basically reality TV with that fighting, who are some of the most, you mentioned Eddie and Enzo, who are some of the most entertaining characters, dynamic characters that stand out to you that you kind of have modeled, like helped take little bits and pieces of to help influence and kind of give you that confidence, give you that authenticity?
Again, I definitely think it was them for the most part, but again, like, this is who I am. I don't know. I mean, I think it's kind of just how I grew up, and I don't know if my dad would like mind me oversharing, but like, I just remember like being at one of my brother's like sports games, and my dad would literally, like, I don't even remember what happened. Something happened. He started arguing with the ref, and then he got ejected from a kid's soccer game. And then my mom would be like, "Oh my gosh, like, John, like, come on. I thought we were passing." Because apparently he would get ejected from his own baseball games. I was like, sir, what? So I don't want to hear my parents ever talk about me being too like sassy, too angry, or speaking my mind too much, because clearly it's genetics. So
that's funny. Like, your influences are outside of the wrestling ring. It's in your genes. It's in your blood.
Yeah, I'm just supposed to have a loud mouth. And my dad is from New York, so
Yep. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of those out here where I'm at. I'm not from New York, but I'm a transplant here for the last 10 and a half years, and definitely experienced a lot of that. And growing up, Little League, it's crazy how some parents can get, playing Little League baseball. I had my coach, who was a very hothead, get kicked out of many games and actually banned from a league because of a fight we got in physically. It was a church league when we were 12. So that was kind of
a church league nonetheless.
Yeah, nothing says church
like a brawl.
Banned for life.
Hey.
But anyway,
I love how real you've been with us, Maddie, and kind of sharing a little bit about who you are, your childhood, your family, and your journey. One of the key things about a Dynamite Download interview, we love to pull back the curtain a little bit and jump into our Fast Five, which are some off the cuff questions. They're going to be a little light. SPD always rocks it with our guests. Without further ado, SPD, dive right in, man.
Yeah, it's nothing too crazy, but these are
Yeah,
some
but I just
interesting
don't know
ones.
what's gonna come out of my
I
mouth.
know.
Right.
Act
These are the
fast.
only
Trust-
ones that we
trust
haven't
me,
run by yet. This is it.
These are we asked someone if this doesn't count, but we asked Griff Garrison if a hot dog was a sandwich. So
It
that's always the
definitely is.
age-old
What
question.
did
We
he
don't know.
say? What did he say?
He said no.
He's stupid.
Yeah, who's got better hair?
And he has worse hair than you. Yeah.
I'm working
I'm
on
sure
it.
his like frizzes or something when it's humid. Like
Mine is very frizzy. This is the longest I've ever had it, so I'm working on the growth to join the trios varsity blondes. So
Varsity
one day.
Blondes.
But anyways, the first question: if you could have starred in any movie, what would it have been?
Oh crap, that's hard. 10 things I hate about you, but I want to be the main character so I can date Heath Ledger.
Oh, all right. That's a good answer. If you could perform in any arena, which one would it be and why?
Madison Square Garden, because everyone wants to.
Yeah, I mean that is the
Great
pinnacle
answer.
of all arenas for sure. What's your favorite guilty pleasure meal or favorite cheat meal?
Popeyes.
Yeah.
Spicy chicken sandwich, red beans and rice as a side, a biscuit with sweet tea.
Oh, you know that
It's the
order.
whole order.
Yeah,
It's the whole
SPD.
order.
That's a
I
Texas
stand
order.
by that.
Maddie
And I'll
should be
put my stamp.
Maddie should be a spokesperson for Popeyes. That girl
I would
loves
love
her some
that.
Popeyes.
Last year, I sent them a Valentine's video and they didn't even respond.
I have a feeling they'll
So,
regret
like,
that one day.
Yeah.
I got my heart broken.
Oh.
It's fine. I'm sure.
Broken by fried chicken. That's too funny.
And it
All
was
right,
like
SPD.
just after the spicy chicken sandwich came out. So like, well, it came back because it was like out of commission for a sec because everyone bought it, and then it came back, and I still gave it love.
There was crazy. There was lines by the Popeyes by us in New York, and they would sell out so quick. I still have not had one to date, so I need to. I'm sorry.
We both gave him the same look, Maddie. That's
When I do get one,
Shame.
which there's a Popeyes close by, I'll send you a photo and I'll give you a review on that for sure.
Thank you. Spicy chicken.
Yeah, I love the spicy chicken for sure. If you could travel anywhere in the world, non-COVID era, where would it be?
New Zealand.
Oh,
Ooh.
I've always wanted to go down under for sure.
Yeah, I want to see the Shire where the hobbits live.
Yeah.
And then there's actually a cave there with these things called glowworms, and like there's blackwater rafting. So basically, it's rafting, but it's in the dark.
Wow.
And then the cave is lit up by the glowworms.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Look it
You
up.
just made my bucket
I need to
list
look it
now.
up because I love traveling, and of course right now it's kind of restricted, but that definitely need to put that on the list. Have you been to the bioluminescent bay in Puerto Rico?
I have not, but
So it's
I'm
like-
trying to like get Shazza McKenzie to bring me over to Australia, so I can go
Hopefully.
see these games. I'm like, yo, girl, what's up? You're liking my stuff on Twitter. How about you bring me over?
Yeah.
You never know. Never know.
Shoot,
Throw it out
I'm
there.
trying.
Right. The last fast five question: if you could be any animal, what would it be?
I mean, I like wolves and dogs, but I think I want to be a bald eagle because like everyone in America is just like, dang.
Yeah.
And then you're also protected, so people can't kill you.
True. And you are definitely a massive hunter as a bald eagle, and it's a beautiful animal.
Yeah, and their wingspan is 6 feet. Like that's taller than me. That's not even fair.
I love it.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I know weird stuff.
Those are great
Everybody's
answers.
Like, damn, I love.
You're very passionate
Yeah,
about
I
all
mean,
those
think
answers for
about
sure.
it. I think I went to Florida one time and we like went to the NASA area and we did like this bus tour and they're like, and if you look in that tree, you can see a bald eagle's nest. And everyone was like, because you know, like tourists, they're like, yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, how cool would that be? Like your house is on the tour and you're not even a part of the space, whatever exploration. They're like, hey guys, there's a bald eagle. They're just like, what's up?
Well, this has been a lot of fun. We really appreciate the time you're taking to talk to us. Where can everyone follow you on social media? What is all your handles that we can post on for?
Yeah, so I am on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all under Madi_Wrenkowski. That's MADI_WRENKOWSKI. You can spell it, you can find it. And then I do have a merch page. It's Big Cartel, and it's in the bio of all of my social medias.
Perfect. We'll add that to the show notes for sure. And any upcoming matches that you want to tell everyone about? Anything coming in the works?
Yeah, this Saturday, so 2 days, I actually am going against Heather Monroe for the Hurricane Pro Women's Championship. And then in March 20th, I am actually going to be at Mission Pro, which I'm super excited about.
Nice.
I love doing all of the Mission Pro shows because they always find really stiff competition. I don't know if they have it out for me again. I think they secretly do, because like they've been giving my first Mission Pro show, besides like the first one, like the first all women's, like they gave me Red Velvet. I was like, this girl has been on AEW Dark. She's been like traveling the world, because like obviously again I went and I looked her up, and she's been like everywhere. I was like, who is doing this?
Yeah.
And at that point it was Robin Reed, so I was like, thanks girl, thanks.
It's obvious they see something in you, man.
Right.
And we do too. I mean, they're putting you against tough, stiff competition to see how you respond. And we've seen it time and again. Every time you get an obstacle thrown in your way, you overcome it and you rise above it. And that character is going to continue to serve you well in your career going forward. We're really excited for you. We hope to see more and more of you on AEW television. We know that there are a lot of people who are chomping at the bit and who are like us, who want to see a little bit more reality on AEW. So thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your time, and we look forward to maybe talking to you again in the future.
Yes, of course. I have a lot of things to say.
Awesome. I love that. All right. Thank you so much. We will make sure to push this interview. And if you are out there and you are interested, make sure you follow Madi on social. You're going to have a lot of fun doing so. She's so funny, charismatic person. Really enjoy the up and coming journey of a young superstar.